All right, folks, game time in 1 minute. Pete Alonso is now heading to Baltimore, New York. And the Colts signed Philip Rivers, the practice squad. Leave him there. Give Riley Leonard. You know what you do if you're the Colts? And I'm going to talk about this tomorrow. You give Riley Leonard the football. That's what you do. All right. Let's get the scoreboard corrected. There it is. I'm not doing any NBA action until after the new year. Where's the one I'm looking for? Here it is. Iowa and Iowa State, they should be starting right now, which means I need to kill this. Take that off. And the commercial still wouldn't load. Dang it. Okay. This is only stream number 2 of my new setup of many. Ah, what the? Oh boy. Hold on. Isn't corrected. Anyhow. All right. Close that. And we get our game feed up here. Now, move this over here. And thank you to those of you that are here with me. I don't have an intro for this yet. Technical difficulties for the win. You, Horowitz, you know, we will have Iowa and Iowa State 30 years. But with the promise that I've made to you guys of delivering on every stream that is scheduled, and you can check out the schedule on snowmanmultimedia.com/schedule. I am living now by a simple rule and a simple truth. If it is not on the schedule, it is not getting called. And if it's not, and as my wife says best, why did this thing? I'm going to just take a deep breath. While I get my rosters over here. Okay. Iowa State's roster features Reese Beatty, Ariane Jackson, Alyssa Williams, Evangelina Polk, Lily Talalay, the 6'3 junior from Queen Margaret College. Kenzie Hare, Reagan Wilson, Addie Brown, Sydney Harris, Ali Tonki, an All-American candidate and all unanimous All-American. I believe she will be at the end of the year. Of course, I'm talking about the biggest of the bigs, Ali. Excuse me, that's wrong. Audi Crooks, 6'3 out of Algona, Iowa. 6'3 junior center. That's the one to watch tonight. Audi Crooks, number 55, who just put up a career high of 47 points in a and coming into tonight. Okay. All right, we're just waiting on the feed for Iowa and Iowa State, and yours truly will put my Jim Durham capabilities to work. As I had many people, I swear, Columbus Blue Jays as a sawed off in the first period of each game they play, lost to the Hurricanes 4-1. Ouch. You know, Horowitz, I may have to do a Blue Jackets game for you. I'm planning to do hockey on Friday. I am definitely planning. Doggone it. I thought I changed that. Hold on. We're waiting on the feed for tonight's game. Why this is going this way, I don't know. Okay. We will try this again. One of the things you all will see, I will take you behind the scenes 5 from 5 minutes up to broadcast time. And then to and through the broadcast, and then to the post game. They're going to Anaheim on Saturday. What time is face off? You got an ex San Francisco Dons player shared info with a better with a bettor. Really? Oh my gosh. Rangers and Blackhawks set to go from the United Center at the bottom of the hour. Iowa and Iowa State are underway. They've played a minute, as you can see on the scoreboard here. And I'm not getting the feed for this. I believe I know another part that has to come in. Dag nabbit. Iowa in front 5-4. They go at 10 p.m. Eastern. Okay. I got Army Navy on Saturday. For sure. I got Army Navy on Saturday. And Iowa State off to an 8-5 lead. I'm looking. I know why. This is what I had feared. I have to go get I can't think of the name of it off the bottom of my head, off the top of my head. I can't think of the name of it. I have to go get a docking station. That's it. That's what I need. Ugh. I got a desktop coming. But I got to get a docking station. I have some other parts that have come in today for both the monitors that I'm going to use. They got 7:48 remaining in the first quarter, and the Cyclones lead Iowa 8-5. Hold on a second, folks. Let me take a look at something here. Uh-oh. Oh, man. No, you don't. No, you don't. There we go. Whoa! Well, I'll be a 30. This is not what I wanted for tonight's game. Doggone it. There. Okay. That should take care of that. All right. Since y'all can see me on that little window. Yep, it's what I think it is. It's exactly what I think it is. Uh-huh. Rats! Rats! Rats, blank, bleep, bleep, and rub. Let's open the box. Let's open this box here. This is not what I had in mind. Open sesame. Yes, this is an unboxing. Live on the rear. Okay. All right, I know what that is. That's my dual monitor tenderizer. We can throw that under here. All right. This is a, okay. Let's see if it's the one that it's a multi-port adapter. Okay. Come here. Why is this not working? Why is this not pop? It worked fine Saturday night. Okay. Okay. All right, they're down to 4:42 left in the first quarter, and it's 14-0 coming into tonight. Hey, yo, H, you want me to do that game for you? Columbus and Anaheim? I'll gladly do it. Blackhawks and the Blues. And why are you back up here on my? I didn't mean. Why are you back up here? Get out of here. Okay, on your get set, go. Okay. There's that. But doggone. But you know what? I can use for this. But one piece that I need. This is such a okay. Here, I think we got everything. All right, they're in a timeout. 4:42 left in the opening quarter. And it's 14-12. Iowa State leads. Hey, what's up, Callie? You stick with the Army-Navy game. I want to see you call that. You're on, brother. Army-Navy Saturday, 3 p.m., folks, right here on the channel. It is my first ever Army-Navy game, and I can't wait to do it. I cannot wait to do it. Why is this thing issues? What is that? Hi. All right, I'm gonna have to get something tomorrow, or I get it tonight. Now I know it's gonna cost me dearly, but the heck with it. I need it to put on a great production for you guys. Yes, Winnie Pooh. Cats. Callie Greenshield says go Navy. Hey H, which way say you? Army or Navy? This is my cat Winnie, who has joined us. Hi, Winnie Pooh. And I'm still having trouble getting the feed, and I don't know why. You know what? I know it is. Okay. It says Navy. Allie says Navy. Don't end up associated with their 4-game losing streak. All right. Horowitz is making the call, and it's something we already got planned, and that's Army-Navy. Saturday o'clock. We'll be up at 2:30 with our pregame show because I think this one's going to get shut down early. I don't want to. Really don't. I just want y'all to know I was here. I kept my promise. When I did the bonus Diary of a Mad Snowman episode, I said I would show up for every game. But I've had technical difficulties, if I can talk, since minute one of the broadcast tonight. We'll get to the end of the first quarter. So we got 2 votes for Navy. I think Navy is the way I'm going to pick. We make our Army-Navy pick tomorrow on Snowman in the Morning. Join us for that. We make our Army-Navy pick tomorrow on the morning show. And Winnie, you've been a daddy girl lately. What's up with that? This she climbs right in. This is the ringleader of the pets in the household, including my dog Lucy. And that's what? You just have to let me because I'm not paying attention to you, right? Is that it? Okay. So we're off to. So here's the schedule. We're off tomorrow. Back on Friday with the Blackhawks and the Blues from St. Louis. That's my first hockey call in many years. Saturday we got Army Navy, and then we got a doubleheader. We got a double vision on Sunday with 2 games at 25. The Titans and the 49ers. The Niners will try to make it 4 in a row and move to 10-4 in the year. And the Colts will try to figure out what the heck's going on as they're sitting at 8-4. They've lost Jones for the remainder 8-5. I beg your pardon, because Jackson just beat him. Colts sit at 5. Phillip Rivers has been signed by the Colts to the practice squad, and all hints are to him starting on Sunday in Seattle. I'm calling the Blues game win Friday night. Friday night, I'm doing the Blackhawks and the Blues because I'm from Chicago and I love my Blackhawks. And it's my first hockey call in 14 years. I haven't called a hockey game since 2011. And it wasn't an NHL game. They're down to 240 in the first quarter, and Iowa is up by 1, 18-17. I have a putty tat in my lap, the leader of the ringleader of the bunch. I have a set that nearly crashed on me. But you know the greatest part about all going on, folks? This blooper fest, as I like to call it, I showed up. I was here, and you all were here to see everything that went on. I went to check everything behind the computer, and my set the set did fall down on. So you know what I'm asking you guys to do? Put on the chat to prove that I was here and I did show up for the scheduled call. With technical difficulties for the win, as Horowitz said to open. I think another thing I want to add to the morning show is the ability to take calls. I want to add the ability to take calls from the fan. I'll talk about more tomorrow, aren't you? Back this with Yakety Sax and you have a win. Man, don't tempt me. After what's happened so far tonight, don't tempt me. I might just take this down and put Yakety Sax behind it for the first couple of minutes and choose a part, probably the part where the set fell on me, and then another part where Winnie climbed in my lap. But I have never had this much trouble getting a feed from a game to call as I've had tonight. You know what? I got a conspiracy theory for this. I think the folks in charge figured out that I'm the best broadcaster in the game. And they said, we're going to give him so we can have our folks deliver the call and not have an number one old school radio style call from Brian tonight. That's my theory. I know I'm wrong when I say that. As my wife jokingly says all the time, I'm always wrong. But this right here, this is proof that I showed up tonight. I showed up. I did my prep. See? Here's proof. I did my prep. Roster's right here. I put them together. My notes are under here as well. I had my dinner. I had a drink. And it's Iowa State up 1, 19-18, as they are close to the end of the first quarter. This has been fun, but it hasn't been any fun. I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry for y'all to have witnessed this. Iowa up as they close the end of the first quarter. Callie's pulling for Hawkeyes, and we're at the end of one, and it's Iowa 23 and Iowa State 19. And I've been fooling with this thing for about 25 minutes. And this is Murphy's Law, alternative play-by-play broadcast style. Everything that can go wrong will go wrong. I'm going to try one more time. I'm going to try one thing. More trouble with, and this is why I'm trying to talk this out and let us know what's going on. This is one of the reasons I've had trouble that I used in trying to get good broadcast back out to you. Let me check something else while I'm at it. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's what I thought it was or is. Well, I did my best, folks. We wrestled through the first quarter, and I couldn't get the feed for the life of me. But we will be back on Friday with the Blackhawks and the Blues from St. Louis. Thank you, Callie. Crap happens. Yep. Doggone it. And I was looking forward to this one, too. I was looking forward to this one. This is my first women's call of the year. And this, ay, ay, ay. But I was here. I showed up. Yeah. Callie says, thanks for trying. Thanks for sticking around. Ay, ay, ay. I got to put you down, Winnie. I got to let you run around here. There you go. Down you go. Okay. I guess I'm no. Yep. Thank you, Callie. Snowman was here. I was here for this one. This was on the schedule. This was in the calendar. This was on the schedule. This was in the calendar. I made sure I put it in the calendar. I made sure I put it in my personal calendar. And I made sure I put it on the calendar on the website. I made sure of all of that. So I don't miss this one. Because I've missed a few. And I made a promise on my last that if it's on the schedule, I'm calling it. Well, I couldn't call this one tonight because the feed didn't cooperate. I got about 100 cuss words in my head right now, but I'm not going to say any of them. So mark it down. That monkey wrench factory is throwing its cast-offs all over the place. You did not say a lie there, Horowitz. And H, I'm a big fan of the Three Stooges also. Matter of fact, let me move this over here so I can look at the camera while I'm reading the chat, and I'll stick around for a little while. That monkey wrench factory is throwing its cast-offs all over the place. You are not that. A monkey wrench the size of Vladimir Guerrero's bat tonight. And Callie, that one's for you. AOH, I got a question. Are you a baseball man? If so, who's your team? I think you told me, but I forgot. I know who Callie's team is. I covered them the second half year and on through the playoffs. That's the Toronto Blue Jays. My team is the Chicago White Sox, and I think I'm going to cover them this year. They just landed the number 1 overall pick in the Major League Baseball draft lottery. Yeah. Scale the window. Now I make some adjustment. Oh my gosh, are you kidding? This happens. Ay, ay, ay. Well, what did Horowitz? Not that one. What did Horowitz say? Throw yakety sax on in the background, and you got a blooper reel. You ain't lying about that, buddy. You are not lying about that. And my ticker is not working. Ah, caramba. But that's working. I got this one down. Here, let me make sure. Oh, there goes my ticker. Suns and Thunder at 7:30. They are not the Oklahoma City Thunder. As far as I'm concerned, they are the Seattle Supersonics. And my wife and I were talking about that before I went and grabbed dinner. And she said they kicked the NBA out of Seattle. They said they moved out of Seattle. I said they were kicked out of Seattle. And then I said, long story. All right, 8:36 left in the second quarter, and it's Iowa 23 and Iowa in the middle of 9-0 teams. That unfortunately opportunity to voice tonight, which makes me very angry. He says, nope, always been about hockey. Okay, I can dig that. I can. My first favorite hockey team was the Edmonton Oilers. My first favorite hockey team was the Edmonton Oilers. And that was in 1984 when they won their first Stanley Cup. A year after that, I got introduced to, at the time, the voice of the Blackhawks, Pat Foley. And I became a Blackhawks fan because one night they were playing the, let me move this over here. One night they were playing the Edmonton Oilers. And it was 4-1 when I went to bed. And the Blackhawks wound up winning that game 6-4. As I heard the morning report on WIND. That was in 1985. My mother got me into WIND because she used to listen to it every morning before she gets up and got ready to go to work. God rest my mother. I miss her and I love her dearly. But I heard Pat Foley's excited call every goal the Hawks scored. Then I saw a morning report on WNQ television in Chicago celebrating the Hawks win, and I became a Blackhawks fan after that. I still love the Oilers. I still love the Oilers because one of my favorites of all time is the great Wayne Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky, Mark Messier, Yari Curry, Grant Fuhrer. That was the first ever dynasty I had put my eye on for hockey. The first one. And since then, I've seen the Pittsburgh Penguins do their thing. I've seen the Detroit Red Wings do their thing. And of course, I've seen the Chicago Blackhawks with their dynasty, 3 cups in 6 seasons. And I can't wait for that dynasty to return with the young fella Connor Bedard leading them. And he's going to lead them tonight against the New York Rangers. And I think my buddy Thomas Fitzpatrick will have the call of that game. I will have the call Friday night with the Blackhawks and the Blues from St. Louis. And then Saturday, H is going to be here. A lot of folks are going to be here for my first ever Army-Navy call. I've watched the game for years when they played at Old Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Where is Army-Navy this year? While I'm thinking about it, where is Army-Navy this year? Is it in Philadelphia? Or did they move it around? I hated it when they started moving the game around, but I can understand why when they played it all across the Eastern Seaboard. They're going to meet in Baltimore. They're going to play at M&T Bank Stadium, Baltimore, Maryland. So they played in Baltimore. They played in Washington, D.C., Orlando, Maryland. The Redskins play. They played, of course, in Philadelphia. They played at Meadowlands in New Jersey. Those are all the places I've seen Army-Navy play. Vern Lundquist called the game for many years on CBS. And I think it's Brad Nessler who will have the call this weekend. They're at a timeout. Iowa 23, Iowa State 22, 7:15 remains in the first half of that game. But I will make y'all this promise, and I'll repeat the promise that I made when I did Diary of a Mad Snowman. Let me adjust my camera one more time here. I am putting this studio back together. All right. I had a fellow who was a very dear friend, goes by the name of Rising Rhino, call me out for missing a game. And he had every right to, because he and many others, my first game was Maple Leafs Red. Oh my God, Maple Leafs Red Wings in '85. Was it at Maple Leaf Gardens or was it at Joe Louis? I never got a chance to see a game at Joe Louis Arena before they tore it down. I took pictures in front of Joe Louis Arena, but never had a chance to go in Joe Louis Arena. And speaking of '85, the Pistons had to play a couple of playoff games at Joe Louis Arena because there was a I believe, and they had to play him against if I remember right, they had to play him against the Boston Celtics because of a scheduling conflict at the Silverdome games. Let me drink some water. So they had to move the games to Joe Louis Arena. Yep. You had to move the games to Joe Louis. Man, my first game was Maple Leafs Red Wings. And they played in some bloodbaths, man. They played in some bloodbaths. It was at Joe Louis. Oh my gosh, it was at Joe Louis Arena. At Joe Louis Arena. I would love to have seen a Blackhawks Red Wings game at Joe Louis. I have seen a few, first in the old stadium, and second, I saw a clincher in the United Center in 2013. Yeah, 2013. Because I yelled my head off when Brent Seabrook got game winner in overtime. And it was just about 4 minutes into overtime where Brent Seabrook whistled the game winner past the Red Wings goalie. And that won the game for the Blackhawks 2-1. And they went on to win the Stanley Cup, beating the Kings in 5 games and the Boston Bruins in 6 games. And anybody remembers that classic series with the Blackhawks and the Bruins? It went 6 games, like I said, and 3 of those games, I believe, went to overtime. And Winnie wants out. Hold on a minute, folks. I got you, Winnie. There you go. Yeah. So he said it was at Joe Louis Arena. Callie Green Shields, let me go back up a bit, says Snowman was here. The feed didn't cooperate. It sure didn't. And it gets on my nerves that it didn't cooperate because I was ready for this one. I have been studying these rosters and pronouncing their names all day. I got myself back into the rhythm and the routine of my old school preparation strategy the night before the game. Well, actually, hell, I've got a solid schedule down now where I don't do a game on Monday, nor Tuesday, nor Thursday. Wednesday, it's probably going to be my Women's Hoops Wednesday from here on out. I suspect that's where some of the marquee matchups will happen. Thursday, I'm off. Friday, it's Friday Night Ice. That means hockey. Saturday is going to be a mix. It's going to be college football until it completes. And then it will morph into college basketball. Sunday will be the NFL until its season completes, and then that will turn into women's college basketball, which will turn into Sunday night baseball going forward. Because I want to do as many games as I can, but I want to do it in a compact schedule. Because trying to do one every night, I know I got a lot to do and a lot to finish and a lot to put together for myself, my company, and my family. and I want to do it, but I also have to get rest also. So going forward, no game on Monday unless it's a big one. And of course, I just looked over here. Of course, week 16 in the NFL gives me the family civil war, wife being a Colts fan, me being a 49er fan. So got that one. Next Monday, let me see if I can fix this. There's the camera. There's the filter. We're going to put a chroma key in here. Let me see if I can do this. Oh, Lord. Yeah, that happened. And that happened. And that happened. You've got to be kidding me. And that happened. Are you kidding? Well, that ain't happening. Doggone it. Iowa State's up 1 with 4:42 left in the quarter. Man, I'm so upset at this, but I'm not, because I can say that I was here. I was here. You want video? I'm holding myself accountable for being here. Rising Rhino, I thank you for holding me accountable. Here's your evidence. I was here. I was here. I tried 3-4 different times to get the feed up, which is what happened. Which is what happened tonight. I tried several times to get the feed up and going, and it just would not cooperate. But what I did do is I stuck around and chatted it up with the folks that are here in the chat. So I appreciate you guys. I'm going to make a run to Walmart to see if I can get one little piece that will help this along. Oh, brother. Ay, ay, ay. All right, folks. I'm going to put an end to this. And I thank y'all for hanging out with me. And I'll see you Friday for the Blackhawks and the Blues from St. Louis.